Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, how you folks doing? Welcome to this very early edition of Hold the Rope. I apologize that I'm so early today, but this was the only time that we are going to be able to make this show happen. Otherwise, I was going to have to cancel it today. So here we are. We're live just after noon Eastern Standard Time, and there is some news to talk about here today. There's not a ton, but there is some important news that we're going to have to talk about. There's some important rumors circulating around the web, and I'm very, very, very excited to bring these to you guys today. So, lots of discussion. Enzo and Cass on the mind. Hell in a Cell with Bray Wyatt, The Fiend. Seth Rollins topping the PWI top 500. Lots of stuff we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, it is time for that Conman certified roll call. So who do we got in here? We got Sadverk. Thank you for joining me early on. We got Tyler Crawford. We got Peyton Cash. How you doing, man? We got Brian Odell. Welcome to the live stream. We got Steve Taylor. Buddy, welcome, welcome. Nathan Noble's up in here. We got Jason Lyle as well. Matthew Bonneau's in here. Caleb Bernstein, always great to see you. Amir Hall, welcome, my friend. We got GC. Holo Flights up in here. Seth Vanderloo as well. Digital Dummies and Raging Red. We're going to stop there with the shoutouts because I just want to get into the show. I am going to my cottage this weekend, and so that is the reason why I am not able to be live at 3:30. My parents are asking me essentially to come up to the cottage for the last time in its current state because we are building on there, and so this will be the last time I get to go up there with the cottage as it is. Kind of a nice sentimental moment. It's been there for about a decade in our family already, so it's going to be sad to see it go in its current state, so I want to get up there. So I will be back though for AEW's All Out this Saturday, and I might be able to stream NXT TakeOver Cardiff depending on the time when I get back, all right? Becca has to work at like 2 p.m., so we might be able to make that work. But everybody, let's get into this. I know what you guys want to hear. You want me to talk about the news and rumors going on in the wacky world of wrestling, and let's start off with probably one of the biggest rumors for one of the biggest tag teams to come out of NXT history. Let's talk about Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, otherwise known as Big Cass. Are they set to return to WWE NXT? This report says potentially. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer Radio reports that WWE has been in contact with Enzo Amore and Big Cass about a potential return to the company. WWE apparently wants to bring Enzo and Cass back to NXT to be top stars of the brand, which is kind of cool to think about, that they want them to be in a top star position after everything that went down as well. Interesting. At this point, it is unknown, though, if Enzo and Cass have accepted the deal. So this deal would not be a main roster deal, and it makes you wonder if that is up in the direction of where they want to go. Do Enzo and Cass want to go back down to NXT, even though it has moved to the USA Network, or at least is about to move to the USA Network? You got to ask yourselves, do they want to go back to that mood where they were like, okay, we're the realest guys in the room, but we're really not the realest guys in the room because we're not on the main roster? Granted, Enzo and Cass were one of the most over superstars and acts down in NXT history. There's a reason why they got called up in the first place. And yeah, like, they would be a huge, huge addition right there to the main show as well of NXT. So I don't know. Maybe this will happen. We have not seen them, however, since I think it's 2018, right? June 2018. We saw the split of the team. Enzo Amore then went on to win the WWE title or the Cruiserweight title. Maybe this was 2017. Yeah, the duo split in 2017. Sorry, my bad right there. And then Enzo went on to win the Cruiserweight title before he was released in January of 2018 due to sexual assault allegations. Cass was then released later on in June 2018, shortly after his feud with Daniel Bryan, due to multiple backstage issues, including a public intoxication, and also, his kind of breakup with Carmella at the time. He was going through a rough patch in life, so it's good to hear, at least, that Cass is probably on the right arrow now. He's on the right path and getting back to the way that he is. He looks like he's in fantastic shape as well. So they also, the last time that we saw this duo appear, so it is true that the duo has been seen since WWE. We saw them at the Ring of Honor New Japan G1 Supercard this past April, where they brawled with the Briscoes in a shoot style segment. I believe if you guys remember that, Bubba Dudley, or whatever his name is, Bubba, came down to the ring, and he was also getting involved with it, and the cameras weren't really cutting to it. It was a very much heavy shoot work style, but nothing ever rose to anything. Nothing ever came of this, right? So, unfortunately, we didn't get any more of that in Ring of Honor because they dropped the act very, very quickly. And then ever since then, we've been seeing them appear on the indies. Not together. Enzo's been wrestling underneath the name Enzo, like the NZO, just like that. And Big Cass was running underneath the name, I want to say, Kaz XL. So that's kind of what we're at with them. Not too much more to talk about with Big Cass and Enzo Amore, but keep an eye on this story, as this one is a very interesting one. Let's talk a little bit about a leaked rumor that is out there. And again, this is a rumor. Nothing is absolutely confirmed because it wasn't released by WWE. But I bet you we can find the tweet right here. Yes, here is the tweet. Bray Wyatt, this was sent out, the Fiend, saying, "Get ready, WWE fans. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, challenges Rollins or Strowman to a Hell in a Cell match. Get your tickets now and stay tuned." So, what does this mean? Well, you can look at this in two different ways. One, Bray Wyatt could be set to face the winner of the Universal title match between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell, which seems like the most likely direction. Or he is set to face the loser of the match of the Universal Championship between Strowman and Rollins. And if that is the case, that means they are probably going to use that feud as a catalyst to get Bray Wyatt to the Universal title picture. Because if he goes up against either the former number one contender for the Universal title or the former Universal Champion, and it's not for the Universal title, then that's the logical progression, right? He would take that step, he would face the guy who was the former champ or former number one contender and beat them, and thus bring him towards the main event scene. Push him in the right direction, sort of thing. But these are just the rumors, remember that. Keep in mind, the arenas advertise matches and appearance long in advance to help drive interest and ticket sales. As always, the card is subject to change. WWE has not confirmed anything for Hell in a Cell, as this event is still over a month away. So there you go, guys. That is absolutely something to be taken with a grain of salt right there, but a lot of people talking about it. And it just seems also interesting because let's click on this tweet right here, and let me show you exactly what some of the replies were. Because if you take a look right here, there was an interaction between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt right on this tweet, the exact tweet that these guys tweeted out and mentioned Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, and Bray Wyatt. So here's what Braun had to say. If the student has to teach the teachers, then so be it. He can get these hands like anybody else. Let the games begin. My door's open. Come on in. Bray Wyatt then said the following. LOL. Come teach me, baby boy. I love you. I've never lost to Seth, and I don't care if I die. Literally. Wow. Then there's a little weird interaction here from this guy, this poor take right here, saying everyone isn't the poor Finn Balor sit. Taking advantage of the darkness and attacking people has become your habit. Balor, he corrected him. Nice little grammar Nazi right there. Shut your idiot ass up. SummerSlam was in full lighting. I do whatever I want. There you go, guys. There's kind of that little interaction. But very interesting stuff moving forward. I wonder if we are truly going to get Bray Wyatt against Rollins or Strowman, and maybe for the Universal title. Let's talk about something a little bit more on the positive side, less wrestling rumor related, but more just news related, as Seth Rollins tops the annual PWI 500. And these are the top 500 wrestlers in the world ranked by PWI, Pro Wrestling Insider. I think that's how it goes, right? PWI is Pro Wrestling Insider. Oh, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. My bad, guys. Sorry, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I totally knew that. What was I trying to think of? I don't know. There's another insider that has kind of like the three initials as well. Anyways, Seth Rollins finally is on top of the PWI once again. It's not his first time that he's been there, though, as Seth Rollins took that spot previously in 2015. Rollins finished 5th last year. 2018, he was topped by Kenny Omega. So Rollins did have a strong year in terms of the accomplishments that he had. He defeated Brock Lesnar. He won the 2019 Royal Rumble. And then also, he had some good matches in between. You know, it's not necessarily like it was the best year of Seth Rollins we've ever seen, but I will say it's the year that Seth Rollins became the biggest star he's ever been. And I think there's a big difference right there. His stuff with Becky Lynch was not great, but at the same time, it put him on a bigger level. WWE truly treated Seth Rollins like a top star this year. And at least over the past year, they have. And built him up in the right way. So, yeah, it makes sense that he would top the PWI. We're going to take a look at the top 10 right here. So, the top 10s were as follows. It went Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan at number 2, which I don't hate seeing that there. But he didn't have that good of a year. You know what I mean? Like, Daniel Bryan had a good year, don't get me wrong. And without Daniel Bryan, there's no Kofi Mania. But at the same time, Daniel Bryan only lost the WWE Championship because Kofi Mania became a thing. And I don't really know if this is the best ranking for Daniel Bryan. I think that, honestly, if you look up and down this list, you got to think Gargano should be higher. If you're talking about terms of actual wrestling ability and what they have provided to the business over the past year, Gargano has put on absolutely show stealers. The fact that Adam Cole isn't in the top 10 is an abomination almost. I don't know where exactly he's ranked, but it's tough to see. I think Will Ospreay honestly should have been higher up on this list as well. His past year has been incredible. Roman Reigns should not be in the top 10. Don't get me wrong, I love Roman Reigns, but his year has not been all that good. Dropping down to 7, I think he should be in the top 15, not necessarily in the top 10. And Okada right there, I think is slightly high. His year has not been as newsworthy as some of his other years. Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles, you know, you can talk about who you want at 3, 4, or 2. I would say probably Kofi Kingston deserves to be at number 3, and Styles you could look at being either number 2 or number 4, depending on where you want. But this is just me talking about what I think, and I obviously want to hear what you guys think. So let me know, what do you think of the PWI top 10 right there? Now, some exciting news for some NXT fans, as apparently I got a bug bite on my finger, which is very, very itchy. Let's keep going. Okay, will do. Why can't you move people to the Up Next tab? That makes no sense why you wouldn't be able to. Is it only Steve Taylor that is able to move it? Oh, here we go. Dante151 dropping $10 saying, what about Cody Rhodes? What about Cody Rhodes? His year's been good. His year's been really good. It's been more focused on the business side of things, though, and he has not had all of the matches that everybody else on this list kind of has. You know, he hasn't had the standout matches that literally everybody did. He had his Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes at AEW's event there, but you know, it was good. It was very, very entertaining. That's the only one that really comes to my mind. The match against the Young Bucks wasn't great. You know, I think it was kind of lackluster in my honest opinion. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that one. Cody Rhodes definitely had a good year, but he was more on the executive side of things than anything. So that's something that we kind of have to do that. Convict saying that it's missing permissions. I have no idea why you should not be missing your permissions whatsoever. Steve Taylor, if you're watching, can you please fix it if you don't mind? Oh, okay. Okay, you guys are confusing me there. Hopefully you can figure out what's going on there with the live calls. Let's continue on, though. Like I said, some exciting news here for NXT fans. If you like the Full Sail overview and you like everything that is going on right there, well, then take a little look at this. NXT to remain at Full Sail through till at least December 18th. So that means we are getting September, October, November, December. 4 months from Full Sail before they probably start trying to tour. You know, I think what they're going with is they want to have a touring brand of NXT, just like Raw, just like SmackDown. They want to tour to probably smaller venues, which will be interesting to see. I don't think they're going to broadcast from, say, the Staples Center or the ACC, now known as the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. You know, it's probably going to be closer to a broadcast from smaller arenas, and I think I really like that idea. But let's take a little read through here at this report right now as we roll the $10 dono. So, WWE announced on-sale dates for upcoming NXT on USA television dates. The dates given list NXT as remaining at Full Sail University through December 18th. Many fans wondered if NXT would begin to travel with the move to USA and going head-to-head against AEW on TNT, but as of now, the brand will remain at home in Florida. So very interesting, and if you guys want to take a little look here.
What about Cody Rhodes?
At the kind of like the ticket sales or like the events that are being held. October 2nd, October 9th, October 16th, October 23rd, and you see that goes all the way through to December 18th. Very interesting stuff. All right. Sorry, one sec. Okay, we're good. Just getting confused with the live call stuff. Let's talk a little bit about CM Punk. Yeah, CM Punk, everybody. So CM Punk kind of trolled all of us. I don't think I can actually play this right here. That's not what I meant to do. CM Punk has been trolling all of us. This is the video I wanted to show you guys, and this is regarding CM Punk.
Should I run the ropes or something? Is that what... No, this is like Raven, right? No, you know what? Everybody sits this way now, right? This doesn't feel right either. This thing hurts. I feel like I'm gonna roll my ankle. I'm winded. Welcome to StarCast. No? What? Oh, God. Hi, everybody. My name's... Should I be Phil or CM Punk? I have no idea what I'm going to say. There's no script. I'm not following a storyline. I'm coming to hang out with some fans. And yes, I'll have a live microphone in my hand. So who knows what's going to happen, and that's the thing. Every time I have a live microphone in my hand, I never exactly know what's going to say, and it's got me in a lot of trouble. I'm hoping to avoid any kind of trouble come Saturday, but you never can tell.
There's his bump.
I just took a bump. That's like $20,000 right there. Thanks, Conrad.
All right, everybody. So... very, very interesting to see as CM Punk continues to troll all of the fans in the entire wrestling world. CM Punk inside of a wrestling ring as he is set to appear at StarCast, and StarCast is in Chicago. What else do I say about that? So now I got to ask you guys, this is a serious question. Do we see CM Punk returning at All Elite Wrestling's All Out this Saturday? Do we see that happen? Is this the return of Punk? Is this when he comes back to wrestling? I don't think so. Nope, I don't think CM Punk is coming back, because here's the reason for it. If he was coming back, I think he would do so in a way where he would build up his return, because the man likes his money and the man likes to make his money, and the man likes that money. Money, 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 money. You know what I mean? CM Punk likes that money, and he even said right there, that was $20,000 for a bump. I bet you it's probably not 100% accurate, but he obviously got got paid a lot of money to be there at StarCast and a lot of money to film that little video hyping up StarCast because the man draws. And the thing is, when you're a big draw like CM Punk or Brock Lesnar or John Cena or what have you, right? These big, big draws, you make sure you make your money. You know, you make sure you make as much money as you can if you're CM Punk. And what do you do with that money? Well, or how do you make that money? Well, you hype up your return. You hype up the fact that you're going to be there. You hype up this. And like, yeah, sure, maybe Punk does go the complete opposite direction and he just wants to surprise wrestling fans around the world. But if CM Punk wanted to surprise wrestling fans around the world, don't you think he would have come back by now? You know what I mean? Don't you truly think that he would have made some sort of return, a surprise return on an independent show, not under a mask? You know, like maybe he's working the entire wrestling world. Maybe he's working us more than we even know. Maybe him going underneath the mask and all these wrestling dirt sheets is his way of hyping up his return. Maybe doing the StarCast event and filming that video and taking a bump inside the ring is his own way of hyping up his return. But something tells me deep in my gut that he's just trolling all of us. CM Punk looks like he was in good shape, don't get me wrong. But it didn't look like ring shape. It didn't look like the guy was itching to get in the ring again. But I don't know. He could just be acting. This is all speculation right now. But honestly, I do not know what is going on with CM Punk, if he's going to be returning at some point or not. Let's talk a little bit quickly about Cesaro, as Cesaro is set to appear at NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. I believe Cesaro is going to have a fight with Pete Dunne scheduled. I think it's going to be an unannounced match, considering we've got the United Kingdom Championship, Walter versus Tyler Bate. We got the NXT Women's Championship, Kaylee Ray versus Toni Storm. We got the triple threat tag team match between the Grizzled Young Veterans. So that's Zach Gibson and James Drake versus Gallus, so Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, and Flash Morgan and Webster and Mark Andrews right there. And then we also got ourselves a last man standing match between Joe Coffey and Dave Mastiff, and Travis Banks versus Noam Dar. So if we're looking at this, we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classic right there, the 5 classic matches. However, it feels like I don't want to say Travis Banks versus Noam Dar or Joe Coffey versus Dave Mastiff. I don't want to say that those matches probably aren't going to get the time that they want, but I think with WWE looking to make a bigger deal out of NXT UK, especially now that NXT is becoming a third brand, they want NXT UK to still be that developmental. They want NXT UK to still be that hot brand that people are going to watch on the WWE network every single week. And you don't get that brand recognition without having superstars come back to the brand and make it a bigger deal. Somebody like Cesaro going to NXT UK is massive, and if he has a match against somebody like Pete Dunne, that is the type of match that can put NXT UK on the map. That is essentially the Cesaro versus Sami Zayn match in NXT before NXT became what we know today. You know, like, that was when Sami Zayn was just debuting down in NXT, and he had that incredible matches against Cesaro down there. So this feels like it could be what it is and where they're going with it. We'll see, though, as this continues to go on. Rachel Mitchell's asking me, what does HIAC mean again? That means Hell in a Cell. So the pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. Let's talk a little bit about a sponsor. I don't know why I have this on here. This just might be some intriguing news to some people. Kind of reaffirms the fact that these guys are a legitimate brand. But Cracker Barrel, the cheese company, is going to sponsor a triple threat match at AEW's All Out. So there you go. Just like that, Cracker Barrel announces that it is sponsoring All Out Chicago. They're going to be sponsoring the Darby Allin versus Joey Janela versus Jimmy Havoc in a triple threat bout. So there you go. Yep. There you go. That's kind of that one. I don't know why I wanted to include that, but I thought that was kind of cool to think about, that they are actually going to get a good sponsor right there. So Cracker Barrel saying it's a country store and restaurant. Cracker Barrel cheese? Have you never heard of that? Maybe it's a restaurant as well, but not in Canada, at least. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's cheese, right? Yeah, like there's obviously the locations there, but Cracker Barrel cheese. At least that's what I see in the grocery stores all the time, but I don't think it's a very Canadian brand. I think it's more American than anything. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about Peyton Royce and Shawn Spears getting married. If you guys did not hear, Shawn Spears, the former Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10 right there, is married to Peyton Royce. And I mean, good for him. Him and Peyton seem super, super happy. There's not much more to talk about there, but Peyton Royce, Ty Dillinger, now known as Shawn Spears, have become iconic. There you go. All right, everybody. And the last kind of bit of news, if you did not hear, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch got engaged over the last little bit as well. So congratulations goes out to those two couples right there. Now, everybody, we got time for a few callers. It doesn't look like we have a lot lined up, which is good, honestly, because I got to get going with my day here. But it was great talking to you guys so far. Let's get into a few calls right now. Let's start off with Matthew Bonneau. All right, everybody? Matthew Bonneau is first up, and then we got Nathan Noble after him. Matthew Bonneau, how you doing, my friend?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. How's your day been so far?
Oh, it's okay.
Good to hear, my friend. So, what would you like to talk about in this wacky world of wrestling?
Okay, so I have 3 questions. So, first, the Hell in a Cell. If the Fiend does end up facing either Seth or Braun, do you think it's gonna stick inside the cell, or do you think it's gonna go to outside?
Probably outside. I would think it's more likely to go outside, though, if it's Bray versus Braun than Bray versus Seth. I think if it's Bray versus Braun, that's, one, the more intriguing story because of their history with the Wyatt family, and 2, Braun Strowman's just a massive human being, so he would do something along the lines of slamming either the Fiend through the cell, or maybe the Fiend's the one that slams Strowman through the cell. But I bet you something will happen like that. Either they go to the outside of the cell, break down the walls, or something like that.
If Braun is the Universal Champion, is he going to defeat the Fiend, or is the Fiend going to take the title?
Fiend would take the title in that sense. I would think, I would think at least, I don't see the Fiend losing right away. And especially, if it's in his very first title match, I think that he would probably take the title if it is a title match. Again, I don't know for sure if this is going to be a title match or if it's just going to be the Fiend facing the loser of the Universal title match to try to help progress his character and get him closer to the Universal title.
Yeah, okay, my second question is, will Enzo and Cass come back to the main roster or go to NXT?
According to the report, they're the talks, at least, that they're to go back to NXT, and I think they're supposed to be like the face of the brand down there, or at least the face of the tag team division. Not necessarily the champions, but the face, kind of like they were when they were down in NXT firsthand, popping the crowd, being in there in some good matches, and just being the life of the party sort of thing. Kind of the role that Street Profits had down in NXT right now. Any other questions, my friend? Matthew, you there? All right, Matthew, sorry, I don't know what happened there. Your microphone just randomly cut out. Don't know what was going on. Let's talk to Nathan Noble, all right? Hey, Nathan Noble, how you doing, buddy?
Hello?
Hello, how's it going?
Not too much. Just played this game of NCAA football 2005. I was doing. I played myself with the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Nice, man. Nice. What would you like to talk about wrestling-wise here today?
Okay. So, according to the information, you said Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy is headed to return to NXT, right?
According to the report on Fightful, yes. Sorry, let me correct right there, though. If they accept the return. So WWE has reached out to bring them back to NXT. There's no confirmed reports if they have accepted or denied it.
Yeah, I mean, if does Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy return to the show, the WWE since Colin Cassidy's released his contract, so is Enzo. Who's the team available to face Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore?
Oh, you can put them against anybody. They could almost come back and be like, the stepping stone, if you will, the people who put over other talent on their way up the card because they can stay over with their mic work. They can literally make any feud feel bigger because they can talk it up, right? And of course, Big Cass's size helps make any feud feel like it's bigger than it actually is. So they really could be the stepping stone for any up and coming tag teams. Or they could be, NXT tag team champions if they needed to do that for a while. Or they could run as Big Cass with Enzo as a manager. There's lots of directions they could go in, for sure.
Okay, so now we need to really get started thinking this straight. Last Monday, a minute ago, Monday Night Raw, the Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman are going to have to use 2 title defenses. First, Seth Rollins defend the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman, his own tag team partner, and they have to defend the World Tag Team titles against unfamiliar tag team Robin Roode, I'm sorry, and especially Dolph Ziggler, the guy who run his mouth, the guy has run his mouth about complaining about the legends who would never defeat him. So it's Rollins and Braun Strowman are going to defend 2 titles at the same night at the Sunday Clash of Champions.
Yeah, yep, they're set to defend both titles. I don't think that they will successfully defend them. I think you're probably going to see Strowman or Rollins turn on the other one in the tag team match, and fairly quickly, I might add, or leave them high and dry, something like that. But if I can just go into a little bit of fantasy booking here, I personally would like to see them defend the Raw Tag Team Championships and see Braun Strowman beat Rollins for the Universal title in order for them to kind of keep this story moving forward where they're tag team champions, but it's now Rollins who needs to chase after Strowman with the title. I think that's a pretty intriguing story, but I don't think that's going to happen. I see them dropping the tag titles to set up the Universal title match, and then something will happen in that one.
Okay, now I understand the last Monday Night Raw review. I saw you got a little bit frustrated that came to bring tournament. You say Drew McIntyre's a favorite, but now my brother against me. I was so happy that Ricochet won the match, so they could make the critics forget any kind of live stream. Listen to me very closely, live stream. Forget about Drew McIntyre, okay? McIntyre just couldn't handle this. Turning heel, it's not an option, okay? It's obviously you think you pick Drew McIntyre as a favorite to win the King of the Ring tournament. But look at this way. Ricochet just finished off the job. He avoided the Claymore hit and delivered the 630 Suton. And then look at the straight Cedric Alexander. He finished off against Sami Zayn. Now, if someone familiar, if one of these should make it for the 3rd round finals, it could be ended in the face of the winner. I think Elias versus Ricochet, because I think that probably is a very good view for Ricochet to never defeat Elias. So, Con, I know last week you said originally Drew McIntyre is your favorite, but now I understand that, but do you think that Ricochet can make it through this and make it to the finals of the tournament?
Oh, absolutely. He could make it all the way to the finals now that, he's beaten Drew McIntyre. He's got to face Samoa Joe in the 2nd round, and that's a tough one. I think I see him beating Joe as well, but something tells me Samoa Joe's going to injure him after the match, thus allowing Baron Corbin to get through. And I know that's kind of not what people want to hear, but that's probably the direction it's going to go into. Or they do push Ricochet like $1 million and hope that, he can win the whole thing. Just to go back on your thing, though, with Drew McIntyre right there, I don't hate the fact that he got eliminated from the tournament, and I don't hate the fact that he didn't win the tournament, okay? I think that's been kind of misconcepted right there. What I do not like is the fact that he was eliminated in the 1st round and didn't get any wins. I think that right there is a giant misstep for WWE. I loved the match between Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre, but when you look at how that match worked out, it feels like that should have been the semifinals to get to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. That should have been Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet, and it should not have been a 1st round matchup. You should have allowed Ricochet to fight maybe Samoa Joe in the 1st round, and then they could have told the same story there with him overcoming a larger superstar. Then in the second round, you have him face whoever, maybe Corbin now or what have you, right? Or maybe somebody else, like Sami Zayn advances and now you need Ricochet versus Sami. There's ways they could have went with this one where it would have kept Drew McIntyre protected and made him look strong in defeat as opposed to losing in the first round and now just kind of being left at the wayside for the rest of the tournament. So that's kind of what I have to say about Drew McIntyre there. I don't hate the fact that he got eliminated. I hate the fact how he was eliminated.
Hey, that's okay, Con. That's all it works. So that's gonna do me here this week. You can take another call if you want. Make sure to subscribe or comment once or seven yet again. If you missed the first one, just make sure to get quick unmute your mic and make sure to talk to him before he leaves. Before he leaves this week. So make sure to subscribe to this channel. Tap that little bit on the YouTube ad so you never miss an upload. And Colin, I'll see you on Monday for the next Monday Night Raw review for between Ricochet and Samoa Joe.
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling. Have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Let's get to Brian Odell. Hey, Brian Odell. How you doing, my friend? And Brian left. Okay, so Brian, all I have heard for the past weeks have been that you wanted to talk to me. You finally got your chance to talk to me and you left the freaking room. But unless Sin wants to talk, Sin, are you wanting to talk or are you good? Sin, are you wanting in? One sec. Let me message him. You want a call? So we're just asking him if Sin does not want to call, then that is going to be our last caller of the day. Sin does not look like he is answering. Yes? No? Okay, here we go. Hey, Sin, how's it going, my friend?
Hey, what's up, Con?
Not too much, my friend. What would you like to talk about from this week's of wrestling?
Not much. I'm just, stressed out because of college, BS. But, yeah, wrestling is alright.
Yeah, wrestling was interesting this week, my friend. Yeah, college is stressful, no doubt about that. Just keep plugging away, man, and best of luck with all your studies. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask the stream here today?
No, it was, a good show, but how is, Braun and Seth gonna, defend the championships because they still have a match, a one-on-one match?
Yeah, that's the biggest question, isn't it? Are they going to be able to successfully defend it, or are they not? Honestly, I hope they do. I do kind of hope that they successfully defend the titles because I think it would be a really interesting story to watch unfold after the Universal title match, especially say if Braun Strowman was to take the title away from Seth Rollins. Either way, it's going to set up that Universal title match perfectly. They either lose the tag titles, and that way that's the reason why they're mad at each other, or they retain them, and then it's oh, crap, they still got to fight each other later in tonight. How's that going to go down?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for calling. Have yourself a wonderful day, and thanks for all the good work you do here in the Discord.
No problem.
All right, guys, that's going to bring us to the end of the show here today. Thank you guys all for calling in. I apologize that today's show is a little on the shorter side and that there wasn't as much news to go around today, but we covered the important news. We covered the big Cass and Enzo story. We covered the potential of Bray Wyatt appearing at WWE Hell in a Cell. We talked about the PWI Top 500, and we talked all about Cracker Barrel, a cheese company, apparently. Maybe they also sell food. I don't know. But there you guys go. That's going to bring us to the end of the show today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Reminder, we will be live with All Elite Wrestling's All Out this Saturday. I believe it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I could be wrong, but I believe it starts at 7. Look for the stream as we will be live with that. And I don't want to say for sure, but we might be able to be live with NXT TakeOver Cardiff. Keep your eyes open on my Twitter. I will let you guys know. But as always, make sure you leave a like on this video on your way out. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And as always, I've been Con, and that was Hold the Rope.